Is sugar really addictive? Or do we just tell ourselves that as an excuse to justify our cravings? Well, whether you believe sugar addiction is real or not, the effects of having too much of it are undeniable. And what really sucks is that it's holding you back from living your healthiest life. That's why today I'm revealing the 5 simple steps that are going to help you finally beat your so-called sugar addiction for good. No extreme diets, no ridiculous restrictions, just practical, effective strategies that actually work. And stick around, because at the end of the video, I'm going to be tackling the biggest question of them all, the elephant in the room. Is sugar actually addictive? The first step in beating your sugar cravings is identifying your triggers. Sugar cravings don't come out of nowhere. There's usually something that sets them off. It could be stress, boredom, emotional situations, or even just being in certain environments like the office break room or in your kitchen late at night. Why is identifying triggers important? Because once you know what's actually causing your cravings, you can start to manage and then reduce them. For instance, if stress is your trigger, you might find relief through activities like meditation, deep breathing, or even a quick walk. If it's boredom, which I think it is for a lot of people, try picking up a new hobby. But regardless of what your trigger is, the key here is awareness, because when you understand what your trigger or triggers actually are, then you can take steps to break the cycle. And by breaking the cycle, you start to regain control. The next step is to start reducing your sugar intake. Cutting out sugar cold turkey might sound like the ultimate solution, but in reality, it can lead to intense cravings. And it can even cause a backlash where you end up having more sugar than you did before. So instead, you want to focus on gradually cutting back. Start by identifying the biggest sources of sugar in your diet. Is it your morning coffee that you're loading up with sugar? Maybe it's the soda that you have with your lunch, or the dessert that you're reaching for every night after dinner. The idea is to make small, manageable changes over time. For example, if you were used to 3 teaspoons of sugar in your morning coffee, cut it down to 2 for a week, then 1 the week after, and eventually none. Taking this approach, gradually reducing your sugar intake, is going to feel far less daunting and much more sustainable. The third step is to retrain your taste buds. Let me explain. Over time, excessive sugar consumption can actually dull your taste buds. And it sounds crazy, but you end up becoming a little bit like a drug addict, in that you crave more sugar to achieve the same level of satisfaction. But the good news is that your taste buds can be retrained. As you gradually reduce your sugar intake over time, that we talked about in step 2, you'll notice that naturally sweet foods like fruit will start tasting sweeter over time. And this is one of the most rewarding parts about cutting back on sugar. You might think I'm crazy for saying this, but trust me, I've done it myself. Over time, a ripe strawberry or a juicy peach will end up tasting better and sweeter than a chocolate bar. The key here is to give your taste buds time to adjust. It might take a few weeks, but soon enough, not only will you find that you're not missing the sugary foods, you actually don't even want them at all. Step 4 is to replace sugary foods with healthier alternatives and focus on more balanced meals. Instead of reaching for a chocolate bar, try snacking on fruit, nuts, whole grains, or even dark chocolate. These foods are not only going to satisfy your cravings, but they're also going to fuel your body with essential nutrients that it needs. Balanced meals that contain a healthy portion of protein, fiber, and healthy fats are going to help you feel fuller for longer. And that's important because it's going to reduce the likelihood of you getting cravings for sugar. And don't forget about mindful eating. Pay attention to what you're eating. Eat slowly and savor every bite. This helps you tune into your body's signals, and it significantly reduces the desire for sugary snacks. Last but not least, step 5, let's talk about managing your stress, your sleep, and your emotions. These 3 factors play a huge role in sugar cravings. When you're stressed or emotionally drained, your body and your brain naturally craves quick release energy from sources like sugar. And when you're sleep deprived, all bets are off. Your body's hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin, get completely out of whack. And when that happens, you're far more likely to reach for high sugary foods. Now listen, I wish I had a magic pill that I could prescribe to you that would relieve your stress. I'd be the first one to take it. But in all reality, the things I have found that help reduce my stress the most is to be disciplined with living a healthy, active lifestyle, making sure you're getting plenty of steps in, eating the right amount of food, going to bed on time, exercising regularly, talking to friends, making sure you're not getting overloaded at work. I could go on, but those are just a few of the biggest levers that I have found I can push or pull that have made the biggest difference towards my stress. But the best thing that you can do for your stress is make sure that you're going to bed on time and getting at least 7 hours of high quality sleep. And you can do that by improving your sleep environment. Make sure that your bedroom is cold. Make sure that it is dark. Make sure that it is quiet. Doing those things is going to drastically reduce your stress over time. And by taking care of your mental and physical well-being, you'll reduce the urge to use sugar as a crutch or a quick energy fix. So there you have it. 5 simple steps to help you beat your sugar addiction for good. Remember, one of the worst things that you can do is try and go cold turkey and completely cut out sugar or go on some crazy, extreme restrictive diet. It's about making small, sustainable changes to your mindset, your environment, and your lifestyle. And if you do that, over time, you'll start to regain control of your cravings and be able to live a healthier, happier life. But before I go, let's tackle that big question. Is sugar actually addictive? This is a topic that's been debated for years. And to give you the best answer, I've looked into some of the highest quality research available, what we call meta-analyses. Meta-analyses are studies that combine data from multiple studies to give us a more comprehensive and conclusive view. So first, let's clarify what we mean by addiction. According to the data, in the context of substances like drugs or alcohol, addiction involves a combination of physical dependence, cravings, withdrawal symptoms, and a loss of control over consumption. So when it comes to sugar, the debate really centers around whether it meets those criteria. According to several meta-analysis studies, and I should say some of these studies were just conducted in animals, not in humans, and that is significant because we're humans, not rats. Sugar has been shown to trigger similar pathways in the brain to those activated by addictive drugs, particularly the dopamine reward system. And this could explain why we experience intense, extreme cravings for sugary food. And it could also explain why cutting back on them can be very difficult. However, human studies highlighted in these meta-analyses suggest that while sugar can have addictive-like properties, especially in the context of highly processed foods, it doesn't actually fully meet the criteria for addiction in the same way that substances like nicotine or alcohol do. The physical dependencies and severe withdrawal symptoms that characterize substance addiction are generally not observed with sugar in humans. Instead, what most people are actually experiencing is strong preference or a deep-rooted habit that's being reinforced by pleasure, which would explain the links to the dopamine reward system. So in summary, what the studies have found is that while sugar can certainly be habit-forming and lead to cravings similar to those that we see in addictive substances, the evidence here doesn't conclusively support the idea that sugar is addictive in the same way as drugs or alcohol. These studies are saying that it's far more accurate to say that sugar has the potential to be highly rewarding and habit-forming, especially when consumed in large quantities within the context of a diet high in processed food. It's also very important to remember that your thoughts dictate your identity. If you wake up every single day and tell yourself that you have a problem, that you have an addiction, that becomes a part of who you are. It becomes a part of your identity. So even if you think you might be addicted to sugar and it's the root of all evil, it's the cause of all your problems, don't reinforce the belief by telling yourself that. Should you be concerned about your relationship with sugar? Absolutely. But the good news is, by following the 5 simple steps that I've laid out in this video, you can regain control of your craving and ultimately reduce your dependency on sugar and live a happier, far healthier life. So I really hope that this video has been useful, not just for giving you actionable steps, but also reframing how you look at sugar. So if you have enjoyed the video, if you have found it useful, I would really appreciate your support. So if you could smash the thumbs up button to like the video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next one. And if you'd like my help losing weight, taking back control of your health, then you can apply for my coaching program using the second link in the description of this video. Until next time, bye.